Hi, Bill Cullen here. We call the show Cullen's Adventures, and we're taking off today on a journey halfway around the globe. Our destination, a remote Asian land which 800 years ago was the center point of the largest empire the world has ever known, but which now, in the Western world at least, is almost forgotten. The land I'm speaking of is Outer Mongolia. More about it in just a minute. Our program is presented as a special service by this station and is furnished by Grolier Incorporated, publishers of the Book of Knowledge, the foremost children's encyclopedia for more than 50 years. The country of Outer Mongolia is still largely an unknown quantity to residents of the Western world, but it's not likely to be for long. According to experts on Asian affairs, it'll be popping up more and more in the news in months to come. One of the key factors in the ideological tug-of-war between Red China and the USSR, in which case you might like a quick geographical, political, historical refresher course on this remote Asiatic highland, nearly a third of the size of the United States. Well, here it is right now, courtesy of the Book of Knowledge. First, a backward look to the 13th century. That was the period when a wave of mounted warriors from Mongolia plundered and burned their way westward across Asia, overrunning China and India and every other land in sight, all the way to Central Europe. The empire fell to pieces early in the 14th century as suddenly as it rose, and Mongolia, the center of it all, became just another province of China. It remained that until the 20th century, when back in 1911 it was divided into two parts. The southern section, known as Inner Mongolia, belongs to the Republic of China. The northern part, known as Outer Mongolia, or the Mongolian People's Republic, is technically an independent country, but with its life and government strongly influenced by the Soviet Union. Physically, Outer Mongolia is a bit like Texas and is sometimes referred to as the Texas of the USSR. Most of its area of about 623,000 square miles consists of a great plateau ridged by chains of mountains. Across the southeastern section of the country stretch the desolate, wind-swept wastes of the Gobi Desert, what the Chinese call the Great Sea of Sand, and almost as unknown today as it was when Marco Polo crossed it many centuries ago. Well, since it's a rare census taker indeed who takes his nose-counting equipment into these parts, it's not known exactly how many people live there, but it's safe to say that the population explosion has not yet made itself felt. There may be as many as 1 million people scattered here and there, but surely not more. And the chief city and capital, Ulaanbaatar, or Urga, has only 100,000 residents. Most of the inhabitants are nomads, and there's no problem of urban renewal. The villages they live in are, for the most part, clusters of cone-shaped, felt-covered dwellings called yurts. Whenever the herding locale changes, the residents merely pack up their yurts and move the village to a different site. Sheep herding is the principal occupation among Outer Mongolians, but there are a few industries too, mostly involving production of leather and woolen goods, transported to the outside world over ancient caravan routes by camel train, just as they were centuries ago when Outer Mongolia was the center, not just of an international controversy, but of an empire. Well, time's up. Before we sign off today, a quick invitation for the moms and dads in the crowd with youngsters of school age. We put together a booklet containing some more interesting facts and figures, which I'm sure you'll enjoy reading. If you'd like to receive one, let us hear from you. There's no charge. All we need is your name and address on a postcard. Mail it to Cullen's Adventures, Box 3400, Grand Central Station, New York City, New York, 10017. We'll send the booklet right out to you. I'll be back again on Monday with another edition of Cullen's Adventures, furnished by Grolier Incorporated, publishers of the Book of Knowledge. Hope you join us then. Until then, have a good weekend, and goodbye.